Hi everyone, LazyFire here. Welcome back to Battlefield 4 Multiplayer. Today we're playing on Operation Wavebreaker, which is a new map introduced in the Naval Strike DLC, and we're playing on a new game mode, well, a new old game mode, called Carrier Assault. Carrier Assault was actually introduced in Battlefield 2142 under the name Titan Mode, and it's actually pretty interesting. I never played Titan Mode, I never played Battlefield 2142 for that matter, but I've heard a lot of really good things, and it seems like it's going to be a really interesting game mode. I can see people keeping it in a server rotation as time goes on, especially when this is a DLC that anyone can play. But first things first, we're going to steal the enemy team's Little Bird because they were dumb enough to just leave it here, wait for my counterpart in the helicopter to move a little bit, and we're off. So, yes, the idea behind carrier assault, as you can see, my carrier is getting hit with some missiles here, is that there's two phases really. The first phase is the conquest phase. Let's put it that way. It's more or less conquest. You go after points, you hold the points, and instead of increasing your victory points or decreasing the enemy team's tickets or anything like that, what it's actually doing is it's going to fire missiles based on each one of the capture points of the map towards the enemy team's carrier. Now, once the enemy team's carrier has taken enough damage, you're able to board it, either via air or sea, or you can paradrop onto it, which completely breaks the game, by the way. And after you do that, you actually have to arm 2 points within the carrier. First off is the cargo hold, which is actually pretty easy to do and get to and everything, as long as you have a sizable force going for it. And the second one is in the engine room, which is a little further back. It's actually right near where the enemy team can spawn in and come running after you. So it's a little bit more difficult, but it's also very easy to capture a team inside their spawn there. So there's a little bit of give and play. Now you can also destroy carriers by just having all the points and draining their health completely. Once their health drains to about 35%, you're able to spawn onto them, but the carrier itself opens up at about 45 points or so, I believe. And this means that, well, you can do stupid shit like I'm doing right now, just asking to get shot down. But it basically means that there's no real benefit to going after the enemy team's carrier until late in the game. Though there is no way to keep people off of it, which means sometimes people will steal vehicles. I had one game in this mode where a guy was taking their murder boat and just going behind where our murder boat spawned and just firing on it as soon as it got there, or having one of his guys go out and steal it. And there was really nothing we could do because there is no spawn protection on the boat. There's no way you can stop somebody from getting on it. There's no way you can really keep somebody from camping outside of it. So in a lot of situations, if someone decides they want to fuck with your spawn, they can do it pretty easily. So what you want to do is really keep the pressure up on the capture points. The enemy team is not doing a great job of that right now, which leads to a lot of boring flying around here. But they're not really pushing anything. They barely even have a toehold on the land, and I'm saying that now, but they're capping a point. But yeah, they're pretty much in trouble here. As long as we can keep a couple extra points over them, we'll easily be able to breach first. The big thing is that you are not always guaranteed a win if you breach first. I found that a lot of games, if there's some footing on the mainland for the enemy team, or the team that's getting their point attacked the most, if they can grab a couple points, they can generally turn it around and make it very, very close, or very dangerous for the assaulting team to continue assaulting to their full power. My big thing, though, is that 64 players on a naval strike map with all the issues that it entails is probably not the right size. 48 to 32 is probably better for this mode. I say that both because it means fewer vehicles flying around and more points being capped, but also because, well, basically, unless your entire team is going to start defending or attacking together at 64 players, you could be very easily outmatched. Where with 48 to 32 players, there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more spread to players, as it were. So some people are going to be defending points, some people are going to be attacking, some people are going to be trying to defend a carrier, or some people are going to be attacking a carrier while other people take points. You know, the different permutations you can have. In with 64 players, you're kind of limited because, you know, there's only so much you can do, and there's going to be an overabundance of people on a lot of different tasks in 64. 48 to 32 players, though, well, you're going to be able to be more important wherever you go, and it won't be as easy for people to brute force through an area. But that's just conjecture. I've only played on 64 player servers for this, so I can't really tell you if that's a brilliant thought I had or not, but it's been mentioned a few different times. I did want to talk a bit about the naval strike maps. I kind of like them. The other... Oh boy, watch me get shot down by about 8 different rockets in this area here. It's pretty dangerous. But the other DLC maps have not... They've been kind of hit or miss. I don't like a ton of them, but I do like a few of them. But the Naval Strike ones seem pretty cool. There's a lot of point trade-off in Conquest mode. There's a lot of really intense firefights. There's some really cool locations. The one that's gotten a lot of notice is, of course, the map with the Megalodon on it as an Easter egg. And that one actually, that features a pretty cool tower or castle or something like that, where you can fire these old cannons at things. It's actually kind of fun. I really like that map because there's a lot of transitioning. There's a really good use for boats, for other vehicles. Helicopters and jets feel pretty important on that map, and there's plenty of room for them to run around and do whatever they want, like they're on a farm upstate. Anyways, this is one of the more closed-off areas of the Naval Strike maps going into this point here. It's actually a submarine pen. We'll see that in a few moments. And it's actually one of the cooler little environments in the game. You see the sub here is actually part of the levolution effect on the level. You can knock out the blocks holding it up and knock it over. We'll see that in a moment. Right here, the enemy team's been around F all game. I know they're still in the area. Whoa. That's pretty cool. You can actually crush people to death with that thing, had you need to do so. We know these guys are here, so I'm being a little bit trigger happy, I guess you could say. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them. So that's the big thing. Like I said before, just the number of people that are around means, just like any other 64-player map on Conquest or something like that, there's a lot of opportunities for people to just be places that they have no place to be. And it happens on Naval Strike. It's a little annoying because you do have 2 game modes basically mashed together. So if you can effectively play both of them at the same time, you're the other team's kind of screwed. So having a smaller group of people means it's going to be harder to do that. I cannot reiterate that enough. I really want to start playing this with smaller player counts. Oh, this guy. I mean, it's hard to fault him. He had the guy I spawned on dead to rights. No good reason for me to complain about that, but, you know, random DMR sniper guys piss me off sometimes. But that's how it goes. I won't be getting back in any vehicles this match. This is one of the few ones that I think is really well balanced for the vehicles they have. Yeah, I don't know how he hit me from there, but don't worry, we're going to get something of a bit of revenge. Something close, at least. Keep using that fucking sniper rifle. Very hard to kill somebody when you're suppressed like that. I'll take a 75-point kill assist, yeah, sure. So you can see they're still fighting over this area here. I actually incorrectly referred to it as F earlier. It's E. My mistake. But you can see we're doing kind of okay. We're getting a hold on some points. We're losing points on others. That's sort of the way this is going to go no matter what. And here you can actually open up the doors and let things in or out of the area. If you wanted to bring a murder boat or a jet ski or something like that up the little canal there and into that area where the point is, you totally could do it. Not highly suggestible because you would be a sitting duck in those waters. It's very narrow in there, very difficult for you to maneuver around if someone decided to fire on you. So I actually would suggest sticking out of there. I would actually like to try flying a helicopter down that way because I'm sure it would amaze some people, not others. You can see the U.S. team's carrier is not in the best shape. It's at about 43% health, which means it's going to be opening up to us very quickly. Oof. And look where that guy is. I don't understand quite how he hit us, but I have to give him credit. That was a good shot. Anyways, what that carrier opens up, you'll see it in a few moments. Here we are. We actually do have a paradrop. So once it opens up, we are able to paradrop in. and go after the objectives. But you can see they grab the attack chopper, and that's going to cause some issues for me in a moment. And with the attack chopper, it means that they can kind of strafe this deck area we're on pretty easily. If they still had a little bird, that would probably help them too. But I haven't seen that. I don't see that for the rest of the game, so they may actually have that out there somewhere, but I just don't see it. I don't know. But yes, the truth of the matter is that if you have a helicopter, you can really stem the tide of people coming through this area. Won't really eliminate it totally, but you will stem the tide. It's very, very difficult to really, kill all the people that are flying down, even with a helicopter. But you're going to notice on the left side of the screen there that my team is going to start losing points as we invest more and more people in going after the objectives here. It's a hell of a long run to these openings, I'll tell you that now. I think there's another one on the other side, but having never played the game mode before, I didn't really know where I was going, so I just followed the crowd, and it kind of worked out for me. Yes, so here we are, running down here. It's really where the game gets a little bit tight, a little bit difficult. I've switched over to my engineer class, just because the AWS probably wasn't going to cut it in this close quarters, so my MTAR with a silencer and Canton iron sights and all the other shit, that should help us a bit. I did not understand why people were shooting up there and yelling about stuff up there. No one was spotting those guys. So yes, we're in a bit of a fight here. There we go. But you can see it's an MCOM that was exploded there, similar to what was exploded in obliteration rounds, or those are actually the models used in rush mode. And there we go. That guy actually just came out of his spawn area there, up on the left. And you see when he died, those doors shut. Yeah, that's because those doors are kind of like Team Fortress 2 doors. They only open up to the one team, and if you die, they close down on you. Now you'll notice that the paradrop just dropped me at the far end of the hangar now, or the cargo area. I think that's a nice touch that you don't have to run through this entire thing all over again, but at the same time, the drop, or at least the paradrop, means it takes a few seconds longer for everyone to get there. It gives the defenders time to set up, it gives them time to recuperate, or between waves they can actually have a couple seconds to think. But yeah, this is really all about just being a real fast game time sometimes. We're very close to the end here, actually. We've planted this point. The enemy team is actually going to breach our carrier in a moment. So it means that we're about on equal footing to them, but we have all our stuff. Here we go, and done. Look at that. Oh, close game, kinda. Not really, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's actually really fun. I'm going to look for some smaller player servers and keep playing this probably for a little while, at least for my own fun. But yeah, we have one more video left in this series. It's going to be a dual commentary video, and then we're just kind of done with it. But yeah, thanks for everyone for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I will see you next time.